Just called an emotional support hotline and she kept repeating, "You're not stupid," but it felt like she was saying I was. Am I overthinking? You're overthinking this. The human brain can have trouble interpreting the word not correctly. We don't fully hear the negation part of the sentence. This is why current advice tells people to turn it into a positive instead. You are worthy of respect. You are worthy of love. You are smart, that's why you called the hotline. Sounds like you're in a negative spiral. Times like that anything people say we tend to distrust or see negatively. From where I'm standing, a lot of these situations do leave us feeling at fault or stupid. And she was reassuring you that none of what you said reflects on you, and separating what's you from what's happened is key to easing our suffering. I wouldn't ever think she meant to imply differently. When in doubt, take what is said at face value. It's probably that she latched onto what she thought you needed rather than what you actually needed, and so repeating it so often sounded strange and suspicious rather than comforting. People on hotlines don't tend to have the most extensive training, so they often rely very deeply on the little training they do have or personal experiences. It's a very common thing for people to feel shame and think they're stupid for not leaving an abusive partner sooner, and she was likely just going off that. No, it sounds like her advice were listening hit wrong, and that sucks. Maybe she's not experienced enough, but she was trying to help you. There are probably other things at work here given that you may have PTSD from this past relationship, but I will say this sounds exactly like what my anxiety does. It will warp any nice thing someone says into them making fun of me or not being sincere. I hurt my own feelings all the time. She probably hears people say I feel so stupid a lot. Or maybe she has been through something similar, had felt embarrassed to speak about her experience, and had really needed to hear someone say that to her. I was really anxious about speaking to a healthcare provider about my anxiety isn't that fun because I had convinced myself that they would think I was demonstrating drug-seeking behavior. Almost the very first thing they said back to me was that they had also had to deal with anxiety and depression, and that when I said that to them, they believed me. Even though I hadn't said anything about someone not believing me, that was exactly what I needed to hear. I was actually so relieved that I cried right there in the doctor's office. It sounds like the person you were speaking to tried to do something similar, but made the wrong call. In other words, she is the one who read too much into it, but probably with good intentions. In relational frame theory, there's a saying learned in one way, driven in two to explain that phenomenon. If the thought is "I'm not a stupid person," your mind will flip through every bit of heuristical knowledge and memory in both categories. You can't think about the reasons you believe you're smart without also thinking about the reasons you believe you're stupid. A fun way to prove this is by closing your eyes and thinking, "I will not think about donuts." Most likely you will think about donuts. The harder you try not to think about donuts, the more likely it is you will. It's why contemporary therapy methods push acceptance of our thoughts and feelings so hard. It's easier to roll with distressing and depressing thoughts, and learn how to live how we want in spite of them than it is to waste time and energy trying to make them go away completely. Them. You're not stupid. You. OMG, are they saying I'm stupid? When you're in high emotional distress, your brain will do everything possible to validate how it's feeling. It finds bad memories, it seeks to identify failures, and it twists any messaging to something critical. She wasn't saying anything bad. Your brain is ringing it around until it feels like she was. I think she was saying, you weren't stupid at all. You were loving and generous. You were patient. You were all the things that love is supposed to be, even though your ex did not deserve it. You survived. I'm so proud of you. But you know, in the moment, sometimes people forget to use their words. If people have experienced trauma or been in a constant state of hypervigilance where they are always looking out for a threat, they tend to always see the negatives. In addition, if they have been in a double bind scenario where they are told, for example, they are loved by a partner, but then their partner's actions do not support this by being abusive or rapid cycling from loving to abusive, it can lead to a person assuming everything is negative to prevent the constant confusion, doubt, and pain. This may apply to you or may not. I think she was trying to tell you to trust yourself. People above are saying you overthought it, and they could very well be right. But to me it does seem off, the way you described her interaction. If I'm understanding correctly, it would be something like, Person A, so today I tried cooking a new recipe and it went horribly wrong. Person B, don't worry. You're not stupid. Cooking is a complex skill. Person A, alright yeah. So anyways, the first thing I did wrong was when I added too much of XYZ. Person B, that happens. You're not stupid. You just aren't. Sometimes people add too much of an ingredient by accident. Person A, okay right. Anyways, and then I tried to correct by adding a counter ingredient, namely ABC. But that didn't. Person B, again. You're not stupid. There is no dumbness there. You totally were not an idiot for trying to correct with a counter flavor ingredient. This time, it just didn't work out, that's all. So yeah, I could see how that dynamic could come off really badly. Thus, I for one don't blame you for being off-put by it. You know, it's really hard to know what answer to say to someone who wants validation. The question I have is, what are you ready to hear? You're very much overthinking this. You also might not be in the mental space to begin to rationalize it. You're still trying to overcome this current issue. Here's the benefit of the doubt answer: stating that you're not stupid as a matter of fact is arguably not their best. But another way to say ignore how you may feel for a moment and just look at the facts. The facts we've talked about tell a better story than your feelings, and they should be quite easy to put together for someone like you who doesn't have any obvious deficiencies. Not everyone will be able to, but you can if look at things this way. No, it means that she's not good at her job.